The time is now 8:06. Was macht ihr? Kommt rein. They're coming from Yerushalayim. All over the world comes to see me. The pride of Klal Yisrael comes here. And I want to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom. It is Sunday night. It is Erev Purim, Erev the greatest Purim Shayach. And we're expecting big Yeshuas and Klal Yisrael. And it's I want to thank Kavash Pratis and Kol Aloshin and Torah Any Time. I want to thank the Eibishter himself for all his tremendous chasadim. Now we're going to, this is a favorite Novandiga topic. Mordechai Esther. He's our man. Mordechai was the first Novandiga. Maybe Shimon Gera was. Avraham Avinu was the first Novandiga. You're right. Shimon Gera had the koyach that Mordechai used against Haman. But the Mordechai not fearing people, not being afraid of people. Enough of that stuff. It's driving me crazy, afraid of people. Like this guy said, and that guy looked, and this guy thinks. Mine after Mina, what you said, you made an impression. It drives you crazy. The real way out of it is to repeat many times. HaKavod Evel Avalim. You have to keep repeating that. HaKavod Evel Avalim. The real way to go is Musa. Liban Musa is the real way to go. HaKavod Evel Avalim. Because the problem is your own kavod. And kavod is really hevel. It's a mistake. And Mordechai, he was good at it. He understood it's all hevel. And he is the opposite of Haman. You take a look at the whole story. Everybody's dancing with Mordechai and Esther. Gavaldi. Is there anybody out there that wants to be a Mordechai? There was a Yid, Rav Elya Rotnemer from Novandiga. Oh, he was sort of the Yad Yamina of Reb Gershon, one of his right-hand men. He made all the millions that Reb Gershon had. They say he was responsible for it. And he was a big Oved Hashem. He gave up everything to become a Talmud of Reb Gershon. Mordechai was the hero. Mordechai was the hero of Novandiga. Mordechai and Esther. To be like Mordechai. Not to care what people think of you. Not to worry so much. You said the wrong thing. You said this, you said that. You know, I want to add something. I don't think the Novandigas were into worrying about their Averis. They didn't have nervin. First time I came there, they gave me a big drusha about the nervin business. Every move I made, that's nervin. That's nervin. I remember Rav Oizer. No, that's just nervin. That's just nervin. That's nerves. 3/4 of our religion, halavai, how much is... Okay, listen. I would choose to differ and say, so let it be nervin, but you want to do the right thing. And you're trying to be an Elohim, so it's nervin. It's not the real thing. So what? For our dar, everything's great. But still, if you want to do things right. So much that goes on in our lives is nothing more than nervin. It's just nervousness. I don't remember them being so into the... Of course, they were medactive mitzvahs and medactive halachas, but they weren't so like... Rather, there's a famous story of the Alta Novandiga. He said for 35 years he remembered the time that he wasn't sure if he got the right Zman Christmas, something over there. He was a malach. But the general, I didn't see this nerve, and It's a happy religion. Everybody goes against your Purim. Everything is, let's have a good time. They learned Musa with a simcha. Musa is the way out of all your problems. Run to the Eibishter. I know a Breslov chassid. I think it was one of the cheshens. He once told a friend of mine, I have something you don't have. No matter what peklach I have an hour. I go alone with the Eibishter. And it's sort of like, you have an hour, talk it out. It's something like, it keeps you going. When you have a special hour alone with Hashem, you talk your heart out. I don't know, the nusach of the Vardi got a different nusach. What did they do in their hour? They learned Betachon, more Betachon. Until they calmed down, they felt relaxed. You keep repeating, everything the Eibishter does is for good. Everything's a teva. You keep knocking covered again. And it's all covered. All the daigas we have is covered. They're very daiga-free. Vardik Shita is no daigas. No daigas, no atzvas, no worries. Why? Because 90% of all your worries are either because of covet or lack of b'tachon. You have no b'tachon, so learn shar b'tachon. Learn a lot of b'tachon. And you'll feel different already. Spending time learning Musa is the real way to go. Spend a lot of time. I once told my Einikel, the same person he knows, Kol Man David Rachman Ovid. He says it 5 times. That's great. But if you said that 100 times, you're a total different human. The repetition puts you in a new world. The repetition, the real way to learn Musa is to repeat and repeat. You know, the truth is, I'm always concerned that I repeat a lot. The truth is, in the Vardik, that's exactly what they do. I used to hear like a broken record. I remember Rabbi used to tell me what he thought of doctors. They wissen gar nicht. Oh, I heard that 2,000 times. They wissen, they don't know anything. He used to tell me that to say that. They don't know anything. You know how much longevity you get when you think like that? You know how much fears people live with because they're so worried about what's the doctor saying? Oh, they can act in a positive way.
How does a person sit on something and chazer it 100 times and feel like, okay,
it's a problem. It's a problem.
How you market yourself do that?
It's a problem. We're working on it. There are people out there from the biggest Bali Musa. I've talked to Mashgichim. They do have a problem with Musa B'Spilus. How to give it over to the public, that they should appreciate it and they should actually do it. It's an asik, Musa B'Spilus. Musa's not. I've seen people learn Musa ganz Geschmack for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, maybe a half hour at best, but then it's over. They don't have the capacity to learn Musa like the Vardi, not so fast. The way to do it, that I would say, I don't know if the Elam's ready for it yet, but the way to get Musa on board is when you're hacking and cup. I got a phone call from I think a Gera Chassid from somewhere, Ashdod, one or some way out place in Eretz Yisrael. He says, thanks to me, he went over to Chavos Avavos 30, Shar Betachon 30 times something, you know. He became, I heard this from several people, they became Bali Musa, my drushes. What? Keep repeating. Do it again. Say it again and again. You know how many times the HR is hacking you in cup? You got to make an impression on this guy and that guy day and night. Right? Say it doesn't stop. Am I making a good impression? Am I? You better say I am. Exactly. You got to counteract that. Reb Chaim Halper is that so. Exactly. Reb Chaim Halper told me this. Do you know how much negative thoughts are flying all over your head? Musa is there to combat all those thoughts. Famous story. Heard from Weinkrantz. Somebody came to him, no shalom bias, no children, and no job. Weinkrantz said, learn sha'ar b'tachon for an hour a day in a way where it makes your brain circulate with positive thoughts the rest of the day too, and come back in a year. It'll take a year, and then you'll get what you want. He came back after 3 months. His wife was pregnant, he had a job, and he had shalom bayis. I heard this from a Barncrantz, that's all. Why? Because it accumulates. The positive thoughts, keep them coming. Keep hocking and come again. You got to hock. They say to a certain, I don't want to say his name. I say he was a yidel, not from, it was from the health guys. He used to have a radio program, and they say, those days, I'm going way back when everybody was into health. Health was the vitamins and ooh. This fellow, the shmua about him was, he kept hocking about health foods, and before you turned around, people started becoming more conscious of what they ate, and he made a turnaround. That's what they say. So what would I, maybe it's chakmeni, I'm not saying anything wrong with taking care of your gazun, but the idea is you keep hocking. Sooner or later, you're going to be there. You know, people hocking all day, I'm no good. You know that? You don't. The Vardigas are in touch with themselves. They know what they're thinking about throughout the day. They're aware of it. They're always writing. It's, in the Vardiga, they say, Knei l'cha chaver. Use the kana for your friend. The pen has to be your best friend. Always write down, you're happy today, what happened? Why were you upset? You're depressed. There's a reason for it. Oh, he spoke. Oh, that's the reason, because this guy yelled at you. Got it. Or your Rebbe said you this, or the Talmud, the Rebbe, this one shepherded you, whatever. There's a reason. You got them all down on paper. Then you learn b'tachon and those things. You know where you're standing now. In our world, what I try to push is keep in touch with all those negative thoughts and type them out. And this is why this is my old ratzon to destroy myself. The rest of us call it, this fellow, Laser Brody, he is a very fine person. He is the right-hand man of Shalom Arush. And he got up and he spoke here in Lakewood in front of a lot of people. And he said that he's speaking to a lot of people, and he sees most of the Olam is guilty of self-persecution. So that's what we do these days. It's the big thing. Let's knock yourself 24/7. No good. Your brain is full of that stuff. Showers, what do you do about it? So the Nvardigas would be, they would write down, this thing bothers me, that they'll even tell you that they're having physical problems, not because they really have a physical problem, but because there's a self-persecution that's causing it. You only feel comfortable with a physical problem. You're looking for it because you're so full of self-persecution. You feel you deserve that. The Welt says you are the author of your condition. What you are, you're behind that. Your thoughts cause you to be the way you are. Your machshavas cause you the way you are. Your machshavas are so negative. So I'm just the opposite. I hold we're taking over the world. We're taking overnight. We're going to over this Purim. Are we going to turn around the world? Especially my cover here. Whoever's sitting here, whoever's listening. Turning over the world. We're going to turn over worlds and worlds and worlds. And everyone's going to come back. I especially want to reach the non-frum Jews. To me, that's number one. I'm not getting involved why Corona happened. I'm not big enough. They say smart people don't say anything. Those that know keep quiet. Why did it come? People say different things. My official stance is I say nothing. Well, I'm going to start giving reasons why this happened. For myself, I could give a reason. In the Nvardiga world, the tzaras that happened in Pelagish Begiva, Zong Chazal, and because all the from Yidden didn't gird themselves with belts made out of iron. That's just a lashon. and go all over Eretz Yisrael and make everybody from when you're sitting home and you're having a good life alone and your life, everything's fine with me. What about you don't even think of them, huh? Because of that, the horrific story of Pelagius Giva took place. That's Chazal. And the Novandigas were into that. The Alter of Novandik brings that down. He held Alatar. Do you know the history of pre-war Europe? In Poland, almost every single yeshiva ketana that was built, Novandik was behind it. Reb Chaim Moshe used to help the Novandigas. In fact, he had shtick because it wasn't easy for them to get. They built yeshiva after yeshiva. Chavetz Chaim loved that. Chavetz Chaim was also a big Torah builder. He didn't have the sheet there. Look, I want to say something first before I say anything else. I paskined already a long time ago, and I stick to it. Achshe Dora. There's nothing wrong with our whole Dora. I'm sorry. Billy, I'll defend that a million times. Achshe Dora. Look at these. Whoever's sitting here is a Kadesh Elyon. He's a Mavakesh Emuna. You know what you are in Shemayim? Or the B'nai Torah today, they have no idea of their greatness. That's the way I see it. I met two top Ingolite in Kerl Shipshin, two probably the biggest in the whole place. And I gave a zog of what I think of them. They were looking at me, looking at me like the Bali Musa, interesting. I says, I mean it. You all, look at yourself. Harving and learning day and night, a lifetime of Torah. Yeah, you're making away with that. What do you think? What's going on here? You guys are not in touch with the truth. People don't appreciate themselves. No way. So my first number one is in everything and anything is recognize. And they do that too. Who says they don't? They know who they are. Just I want to make a little more of that malach. You know who you are. The women, the Kailite, the wives of Kailite. There isn't one single in Lakewood. There is people who never need help because the Yetzer Hara got a hold of them, and they have to do certain things. The most extreme cases of serious, beyond serious addictions. There's a whole group of them, and every town has loads of them, unfortunately. In Lakewood, they have all kinds. Sfardim, Chassidim, Litvakis, Americanas, they're all there. There's one breed that there isn't one. The wife of a Kailman. Hear that? Not one. I know the guy who runs it. Not one woman who's the wife of a Kailman is part of that club. It doesn't make sense. It's Lamalam and Ateva. The wife of a Kailman. You know who she is? Anybody want to chip at the ladies about sneers? I'm not going to do that. You got the wrong guy. You know who they are? You know who they are, these ladies? You know who the men are? And I say, of course, that a woman is a reflection of her husband. You know what's going on in this world? Tzaddikim, Gemurim, all over the place. So what I want to say about COVID is I don't want to say anything because I would just go straight to the Eibush and say, Eibush, this don't make sense. They're all great. That's what I would like to do. After the Vad, I'd like to go straight to the Eibush himself and just ask him, Eibush, this don't make sense. These guys are unbelievable. I want to tell you something, but I didn't tell you. First of all, it's true. It's not so push it. The door is super high. Oh, yeah, they need this, they have to work, and that. Okay, you never finish. My horror would have been Zikar Rabim. Get involved in caring for others. Okay, fine. I would be very much into that. According to my dreams, the whole Torah world, get out there and go all over the world and bring back those millions of Jews that are off the derech. And I guarantee anybody who does that will have half the issues that he has today. Because when you do that, the happiest people in this world are those people who are out in the sticks making other Yidden from. They're number one in Madreg of happiness. They're super busy. They're crazy happy. I spoke to many, all kinds. There's Chavetz Chaim, there's Malikud types, there's Lubavitches. They are super happy, all of them. They rave, they say, this saved my life. Now I got to the rope. I would have been like, look what I became, and look, and everyone's running to me. It's a shtick gesund to be doing these type of things. But that's my only ha'ara. That would be my ha'ara, except my number one ha'ara is I believe everybody's perfect. That's my not so humble opinion. You know what the Commander Rebbe said? If you see something wrong with a Jew, you should know it's a lie. It's just not true. But I see, don't complicate me. You see something, Commander Rebbe, you see something wrong with a Yid, you should know it's not true. See anything good with a Yid? It's true. Now, by the way, do that to yourself. Many, many of us, you got it, do it to yourself. Anything wrong, it's a lie. But I did it, it's a lie. I know a younger man had this experience. He went to a Rebbe who knows what's going on, one of the biggest Rebbes in Eretz Yisrael, Tzaddik Yisrael Deilam. This Rebbe, when he reads a kvittel, he cries like a baby. Tzaddik. A Panavish, a Chsidish, a Rebbe, Tzaddik. And he's a goyin, a masberotzim. He told the fellow, the guy has cost problems. I mean, at the end of the world, but he's got. The Rebbe told him, you do not have cost problems. Get out. Some people need to hear that. The Danish can come. So once in a while. No, sorry. You don't have it. You're a great guy. And I would do that for a million things. I'd be very radical, except for Rabim. Got to watch what you're saying. But privately, they have to believe me. Do you know how much sorrows people have because they have no self-esteem? Do you know the churban that is? Not holding from yourself. I've come across recently, very, very recently, I've seen generations later. I know certain families where I saw it. They were Elach Yidden, but there was something very, very negative, self-persecution, like they say. And I saw it, now I meet the Einiklach. It's a churban. If that ever gets into your blood, it ain't healthy. Blow yourself up like you are the Gadol Hador. Do it. Don't worry. Yeah. Yeah, so they got a whole thing about me. I'm blown up already. I'm already a jumbo elephant. I'm mamish, I hold for myself. Why do I do that stuff? And yet a Welt. You're going to ask me one question. Mendel, did you hold from yourself or not? Don't give me that. Did you hold from it? But I had this issue. No. Where's the davening? Where's the learning? Don't bother me. Did you hold from yourself? That's the way I see things. In the next world, did you hold from yourself or not? It's hard work. And the more the Zvilla Rebbe told me this. The Heilige Zvilla Rebbe, Zechat Tzaddik Abracha. They said he was a big Baruch HaKodesh. She said, the more person holds he's nobody, the more big he actually is. Because the HR is on his case. He's not going to function if he doesn't know who he is. You're not getting up in the morning. You have to really build yourself up to know. And look at Mordechai. He papaked the whole world. When he walked, like Kamala Izah, he walked in the street with a stoltz. I'm in charge. Haman, you're not scaring me, Babala. Who are you, Haman? You know who I am? He was very Sanhedrin. He was a Novandiga. Mordechai was a Novandiga. Mordechai got up there, he packed the whole world. He wasn't afraid. And Esther, when she's queen, you think you're going to go, Rabbi Chatzola, yeah, he put her in a, it was tough. Mordechai, Kleinigkeit, wasn't scared of Haman, scared of nobody. He was stoltz. Mordechai knew who Mordechai was. He didn't start, well, I'm not the Roy. I'm not really, you can't really do that. It's not right, and you have to be nice, and you have to, you know that Rav Kanarik, that's all. Sol Yaza, what was his name? Rav Sol Yaza Kanarik, yeah. Rashiva, Peak School Yeshiva. I once heard him give a shmooze. So the Welt says, Hitler, Haman, Hitler, Stalin. Not true. Hitler and Stalin, correct. But Haman, he was a good guy. Mordechai he made the problem. Mordechai incited him. He got him to get so nasty. Mordechai hated Ra to such a degree that if you saw evil, he'd smack it in the face in the street in front of everybody. That's the way he typed up Mordechai, the Rav Canary. But the vote was that Haman was not nearly that bad. Haman was whatever. But Mordechai, oh, stolz, oh, verpackt, he was in the Valda, wasn't scared of anybody. That's the way a Yid has to, the guy with the Kedusha. If you feel you're nobody, know the truth, you're the extreme opposite. Yitzhar is on your case. But I'm different than, don't look at other people so much. Hold from yourself. Before you read all the Gedolim books, read this Gadol right here. Hold from yourself. Make a book about yourself, about your struggles. People who struggle are Kodesh Kedoshim. By the way, that's why this Purim is going to be the best Purim the Klal Yisrael ever had in the history of Klal Yisrael. One of the best. Why? Because this Purim, everyone's going around like a chicken without a head. How are you going to work with this? That's Friday? Oh, when am I doing this? When am I doing that? They're going crazy. And the more confusion, me as a Rebbe, how are the parents going to see the Rebbes? And they got to bring the bride. You're going to be caught in traffic with the buses. With the you want to go deliver Sachmanas to all the Rabbim? Lots of luck. You want to spend the whole Purim? Well, how are you going to do it? It's not especially now. The traffic, that's why another reason why I'd like to propose everybody leave Lakewood so we'll have some room to breathe around here. I mean, you'll leave, like, go out there, go to all these places, there's beautiful places you can go to and turn over the world over there. Anyway, so my Rabbi say, the word is that the stolz that Mordechai had this time of the year in Novandig, it was Mordechai leyichrev leyishtachel. That was the avodah to be a Mordechai. I saw Novandigers get up and say controversial things publicly, and they were sharp and they didn't care. And there was big chashav yid standing next to them, and they couldn't care less. They dafka said it. We don't believe in Chanifa. This is what I hold. Oh, I'm going to be a namby-pamby galon. Oh, yes, you're right. I told you, like, my shalom bias experience. You know the way I work with shalom bias. The husband calls me up and cries his heart out about how terrible his wife is. For half an hour on the phone, I said, you're right. Then she calls me up, cries about him for half an hour, and I say, you're right. And the guy that watches what I'm doing says, hey, Mendel, make up your mind. You're also right. I hold everybody's good. You know, I don't fight with anybody. It's all baloney. But the world today is like that. Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah, you got to be friends. Unless you're an angry type, so then you're busy screaming at everybody. You got a different problem. But Novandig is, you don't hold for me, that's fine. I hold. This is the Mahalach. They're not afraid of anybody. Not being afraid. That's Mordechai, that's Esther. It's interesting that Hasoch is Daniel, and the Paslachim describes him as Ish Chamudois. Daniel Ish Chamudois, and Tachlis HaChamudois is Midas Eshtavas. Chavis says, not caring if they love you or hate you, is the most desirable midah. Tachlis HaChamudois, the most desirable midah in the world. And he says, like Daniel, who is being called Ish Chamudois. He had that midah. So it's so interesting. All the Purim players, all of them had that name. Mordechai verpackt everybody. Esther verpackt. She made a party with Haman, so all the Jews should hate her. So they'll down to the Eibishter. Busy with two Rishonim. Now we know already. She's one of them. Now they'll first down to the Eibishter. Gemara says that. That's why she did it. She verpackt everybody. She verpackt Achashverosh. You know what it means? A king is making parties and no taxes. Just, can you please tell me who your father is? Either Esther didn't bend an inch. A woman. Women are soft. You know, they can't do that stuff. A woman, nachalis patos, you know. And a king, and the king who burned the other wife was burned alive, you know. You're the next one in the driver's seat. I expect to have a very good life with this Meshuggah over here. Meshuggah is compared to a bear, you know that. He says he was heavy like a bear, he had hair like a bear, and he was restless like a bear. And she was married to him. She wasn't, but no picnic, and she faffed the moon. And she and Mordechai, Daniel, and Esther. That's why Purim is such a happy Yom Tov. Adolayada. the extreme in Simcha. Why such an extreme? Because the people who made it happen were all into this extreme of all the midas taivas in the world. They all had tachlis hachamudes, the most desirable midah in the world. You don't care if people love you or hate you. You got to keep hearing that day and night. Again and again, I don't care. They like me, they hate me. You don't have to work on that a lot. You'll be a free bird. You'll be a happy person. And this is the Nובהרדok thing, not to care. You know, he was behind the Nובהrdoks when they built yeshivas. They couldn't get into a new place. You know what they used to do? They would speak in public. They would get up on the bima and say, we want people to come to our yeshivas. And the Haskalah people were all over the place. And they'd start screaming, Harab, get up, get down right now, get down. And they'd kick them off. What would Nובהrдok do after he got kicked off? Went to the next shul and he got up there. And these same guys are all over. They don't care. Nובהrdoks are made out of rubber, made out of steel. From town to town, they had such, the Haskalah was they wanted to destroy them. They had a fight. They're Yidden, that they hated Yiddishkeit. And the Nובהrdoks had to go to war. And Chaim Moses helped them. And this is what they say. The historians, they say that almost every new yeshiva being built in the entire Poland, Nובהrדok had something to do with it. They were very, Bill, we got to fight the Haskalah. They went to war against the whole business. And Chaim Moses told them once, get into a new town. Now some Rabbanim, we don't like Nובהrדok because they're too Musanik or whatever it is. So Chaim Moses advised them, you know what you do? Send them a letter without a return address and tell them, we're coming to your town. Please be prepared. And we're going to be speaking. We're going to be taking over the place. We want to thank yeshivas over here. And without a return address. So when they come, the Rav will say, hey, I didn't give you permissions. We sent you a letter. So Chaim Moses shtickle. Send the letter without a return address. And then when the Rav starts screaming at you, hey, what are you doing in my town? And we sent you, we told you we're coming. So, there's no return address. Chaim Moses, he understood the Nובהrדok mentality, and he helped them out to do what they did. By the way, you know what they had? There are two types in Nובהrדok. They had the Musaniks and the more into learning. You want to hear something about learning now? They asked the Panav Rav, what was the Yetzirah in Nובהrדok? That, every place has the Yetzirah. So you know what he said? He wanted to know, did they learn a lot in Nובהrדok? People asked him, they learn a lot. There's so much at the Muslim, they learn a lot. So he said, that exactly was the problem in Nובהrדok. Since their Yetzirah was, don't learn Musa, become a big masman in learning. As long as you don't learn Musa. So as a result, they had an abundance of masmidim, which I know for a fact. Crazy asma in Nובהrדok. And Gemara Taisis, I'm not going to learn Musa. And that was unfortunately the problem in Nובהrדok, because they were supposed to learn more Musa. And never charab pandarach. He's learning 18 hours a day. I'm very happy. What's with Musa? Off the derech. So that was the Yetzirah. Might be kedai to do that. They build the yeshiva, make Musa the ikrim, so they'll all go off the derech and become hasmidim. That's vaksay learning. Why does your Rav said this? He said Nובהrדok went off the derech, they became big masmidim. But the Musanik is, don't ask. Said he used to fight with each other. The Shlomo figure, I was told, he was a big figure, tired of Yid, I remember him, was he sweet. Shlomo figure, he was from the London. There were two groups, and they didn't always get along so great. And Shlomo, do you know what Reb Gershom once said? Reb Gershom was the chief. The stipler was the learner. Reb Gershom was the Musanik. And Reb Nissen Podochinsky's picture's right there. He once said, here I have one shtick Torah, the stipler, and here I have one shtick Musa, Reb Gershom. Reb Gershom once made a remark. When you guys are fighting with each other, make sure to give in, because They're not big enough to know how to do that stuff. They're busy. Gemara says, you guys learn Musa. You know how to give in and work yourself on. It passes for you to give in and let them be right. You take the first step of being Mr. Good Guy, because they're not on that madrega. Don't worry. Yes, plenty of learning and kleinigkeit learning. Today, I would say learning is the best Musa Sefer. But if you're still in the Kas mode, if the packing away for years, I advise you to buy a rubber willing to wait for you. Spend some more time with Musa, or else Hashem Yiracham. I'm dealing with the public. Rabbi say, oh boy, how many people out there, if they'd only learn more Musa, what they would look like? They don't know what I'm talking about. Kas is rampant. They don't even shop. That stuff is, you got to get rid of that. I'm finishing the Masechta, and you're screaming at your wife all day. You're finishing the Masechta. You can't do that. I'm not talking to everybody, but this guy, close that Gemara. Most people whom I speak to do not have to close the Gemara. They work it out and everything's okay without closing the Gemara. I do know one younger man who had the most phenomenal yeshuas in his life. He told me clearly he did close his Gemara. He's a big Ben Torah. His wife was home. Most did it come out all day because his wife was dysfunctional for a year and a half. His wife was not, she just wasn't functioning. She was home. And he was home because she wasn't there. She was in bed. And he was the mommy. No chabrusas, no nobody. He's never the mommy because he have a wife who's not functioning. Until he got a hold of Yehуда Mendel. You know me? Got a hold of Yehуда Mendel. That's me. Yehуда Mendel got a hold of him. He says, listen to me. Start working on positive thinking. In this case, I don't think his wife was involved at all. Come on. It was, he was involved, and his wife was not involved. And he spent a half hour a day talking positive stuff about everything and anything. And the whole house, 2 months, whole turnaround. Now, he's back in yeshiva learning full time. And she's a mensch. Imagine such a story. Turn around a house. This guy, Punk, told me he had to close his Gemara to do this. I don't believe he closed it that much. But he gave, that's called Mesiras Nefesh. It's called Mesiras Nefesh when you don't know what a glikit is to get involved in Musa. You don't know all your problems, your daigas. I have things that, I just told this to somebody, they're having trouble with I know case histories, one after another. These guys have trouble with teenage boys. I tell a guy, he just had a blowout with his son. Both killed each other over the Shabbos table. You know what I tell him? You have bטחון. And watch what happens. Oh, don't worry about it. But I said this, and now I ruined my relationship. No. Laugh at it. The next day, he has a new boy in front of him. And this happened to Seda. Don't get worried. Have bטחון. A Baal bטחון, a person's into Musa, he can get away with bloody murder. I'll tell you one thing about my drushes. I don't know how good they all are. I'm sure they're all gewaldig. But when they're not so good, whenever I feel they're not good, oh no. That one, there was no jokes. Half the guys looked like they were sleeping. I said the same thing I said last week. When that happens, you know what happens? Always, without fail, I get the most compliments on those. The very next day, it was terrific. You sure? Yeah, it was terrific. I'll tell you something else. If you get involved with the Eibishter, you know what you can do? I sometimes say, Eibishter, make it a good drasha. I'm afraid. You think it doesn't work? It works. I don't have my keys on me. I'd like to be able to see my keys. You want to know what it means when you're close to the Eibishter, you're in a different world. You don't have the fears that other people have. Oh no. What happened to me today? I have three keys. It's a big key. It costs a lot of money. And it's the kind that you put into your car. Without that, 2 of them were broken. I tried them, each one of them, 50 times each. It doesn't work. Now there's one good one. Now today, I couldn't find a good one, and I got to get to school any minute now, and I couldn't find it. And I'm looking all over the house, boom, boom, boom. I got to go. So I says, look, I can't find it. And the other 2, I wanted to go to the store to have them fixed. Just last Friday, we didn't get around to it. What am I going to do now? So, what do? I figured, let me try this old one. Never worked. Never. I tried it. Got to get that key straightened out. Today, I was in a pickle. The regular key is gone. I got to get to school. Let me put it in. It worked like a fiddle. It's a new matziv. It looked straight. Hey, that was crooked. What happened to it? You want to know if I'm a Baal Meifus? Let's make it official. Yes, no problem. Listen, if Reb Gershon was able to drive a car without gas for 100 miles, in our world, we can do these things. It's unbelievable. You live with the Eibishter. You know what happened my chavrusa? I'll tell you my experience with my chavrusa. This happened 10 times, believe Guzma. I used to learn with a chavrusa in Kel Shimshon, and once in a while, I need my space. I need to learn Moshe. I don't want to open a Gemara today. I mean, at least for this Seder, I need a break. Whenever I needed a break, I says, Eibishter, I need a break. I don't appreciate my chavrusa today. Yesterday he was great. Tomorrow he's great. Today I don't want him. I need to take a break from him. That's all I do. I suddenly get a phone call. Mendel, someone's going, yeah, what happened? It's the chavrusa. Please be meichel me. I can't make it today. Something happened. No problem. Sure. And I smile. And I'm the good guy. He's the guy that couldn't make it. I promise you this happens every single time. It happened 10 times, believe Guzma. Always happens. I come out ahead yet. Not only I get what I want, but he's the guy that's asking me for mechila, that he couldn't make it. There's another one. I have Keseda. Sometimes late at night, they want me to go to a chasana. Oh, no, I don't know. And it's sleep. I don't like traveling at nighttime. These makes me as it just happened last night. And it happened last week too. I had to go to pick up my wife at Vassar over there, the Fountain Ballroom. And last night I had to go to my school, and I don't want to travel. That minute that I have to go, I get a phone call from somebody who wants to speak to me. And the guy tells me, Mendel, I got to speak to you. I says, you want to take me to, oh, for sure. And he takes me to happen this week. It happens every single time. I always get a ride. Always. Just then, someone needs to speak to me. They don't speak to me that much. And he's more than happy to take me there. And last night, he waited 40 minutes for me. I'll take you. No, I don't have to ride back. I'll get a ride. No. Took me back also, and he waits. It doesn't make sense. You live with the Eibishter. You're in a different world. Oh, your worries. I said the wrong thing. Uh-oh. Wait till everybody finds out. Uh-oh. He said that. Uh-oh. This. I'm not scared of nobody. Learn from Mordechai. Don't be scared. Sit with Bטחון, learn. Just the fact, look, it's not always going to kick in, but the fact that you spend so much time every day alone with the Rabbeinu Shalom, learning Shar Bטחון. You know how you get on his good list, how differently he treats you. You're a different world. You get different. I've had, you hear what Rabbi Golombek says? We said it for a year. What did he say? We said it, I don't even remember. We said it for a year or two, and I kept saying we're going to have a full house. You were here before? Look at this. We got a full house. It's old tefillah. I daven. I get it. I always get it. Always. Hashem spoils me rotten. Whatever I want, able to give me. Unbelievable. Let me tell you something about being positive. Another person would say, well, I don't always, but often or usually, I don't talk like that. I'm not one of these guys that has to protect himself by saying the truth so they can't catch me. I'm a reckless guy. I say always right after, I told you. All right, I'll tell you one story. I have to say one. I did have a maisa where a guy needed me desperately. And the next morning, my bracha did not work. I was ready to make a shachianu. My bracha didn't work. I'm still like, wow, how did that happen? My bracha shouldn't work. Anyway, Taka didn't work, and he had nebuch, whatever, nebuch. So the next morning he says, Mandel, what happened? I says, you know the mice with the three Hasidim? Three Hasidim got together, and they say it's a true story yet. Each one was telling the godless of his Rebbe. So one of them said, my Rebbe, I needed a kid after 10 years. My Rebbe gave me a bracha, I got the kid. The other one says, that's Seder Maifis, after 10 years, my Rebbe's about my. The other one says, wait till you hear my Maifis. I had a 33-year-old son, needed a shidduch. The Rebbe gave me one bracha, boom, right afterwards it became a chassid. That's my Maifis. The third guy, what about your Maifis? My Maifis? I needed money. My Rebbe said, invest in this place, and this place, and you'll be fine. I invested in all these places, and I lost every penny. So they say, where's the Maifis? He says, my Maifis is that I'm still a chassid. So I told this to the guy the next day. I had the joke. Just that night before, someone told me the jokes. I had what to say for myself. See, the Maifis is, you're still my, and he talked to his stomach. He still runs after me, even though he didn't. But I will never admit to any, no. I am total success. I do not admit to any failure. No, I'm one of those official, good old-fashioned Bali Geya. I'm the Amoliga Bali Geya that knew how to be like they owned the world. Let me tell you something. You know how difficult it is for people to be like that. I hold it's the emes alein. You know how hard it is for people to do that stuff? It's how easy it is to say I'm a nobody. You know how easy it is? Come on. That's my raya. It's off the derech. But wait a minute. If you're that type, and you're always putting yourself down, nishkevelach. Leiv nishpa v'nitkel kim like says. So I'll be the big shadow, the jumbo elephant around here. I'll do it. But anybody want to join me, it's Gan Eden. Hold from yourself. More than everybody. Look at Mordechai the Stoltz. Mordechai Yichel Yishtachave. You know what they said in Novandik? First, Yichel Yishtachave. And after. You see? Did it help? By the way, the next ride is on Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday we're having a ride. 8 to 9. So so what happened? So you got into trouble, Mordechai. You see, because you got into trouble. Haman wants to kill all the Jews. So it's right after that happened. Do you think Mordechai weakens? The next time, like come v'loizah. You know what that means? I'm not even budging. Not only I'm not weakening, I'm tougher than before. At least you might move a little bit for Haman. Next time, like come v'loizah, I'm not budging. I'm even stronger than last time. That's Novandik. Adarabba Novandik. Pink faket. When things go bad, I hold punk faket. And I say, ask for everything you want this Purim. This is the greatest Purim there ever was. Because this Purim, or one of the greatest, this Purim is so complicated. It's a high half a day. You don't know if you're coming or going. You're going. So the schus of all the tzara, from tzara agra, it's a phenomenal Purim like never before. And you can be zeichet to everything and anything. I'm not in this part. Listen to me. I'm getting a mitzvah. Somebody just called me up recently with a situation that can kill an elephant. I never, kamat, I've heard bad ones. This one is a winner. Even I am a little impressed about this. Is not stam. This guy's got a peckle. I don't know what to say to the guy. He calls me up. And you got something that's super serious. It's not, if you get it, you're not going anywhere. Because so I told him, I walked away from him like this. You can go around saying, okay, I met my Waterloo. This one ain't working. What can you do? Here, my bטחון. I'm not I say, no way. I say, you can have a big Yeshua. 100%. I live in it. Why do I do that? If you give up, you get no schar for that. You're feeding into your natural teva to give up. You were like that before this matzah. Stop giving up is a lot of fun. You feel sorry and never. Life is hard and I'm a loser in the first place and that's a chiddush I have and it's no good. Yeah, that's easy. When you say, I have bטחון, that everything will turn around completely, you got a mitzvah. But this one's really impossible. But you got your mitzvah. Impossible, not possible. You got your mitzvah. By being b'teach b'Hashem, you're getting a mitzvah. Even if you don't mean it. So you have that level of bטחון. But who wants to give up a mitzvah? By the way, the people who you can get bטחון, mitzvahs of bטחון every second of your life. You can get 100,000 mitzvahs of bטחון every inch of your life. You know why? Because if you're a warrior, every minute you change your mind around. No, everything will be okay. No, everything will be. You got a mitzvah bטחון. So all day long, some people, all day long they're busy doing it. No, it'll be okay. No. You know how many negative thoughts? The more negative thoughts, the better. Because you're going to turn that around. Got a mitzvah bטחון. Mitzvah. You know how many mitzvahs you're getting? And you feel so good. Let me tell you this, Mice. A 42-year-old young man, this kid was turning over the world. And he calls me up. So I says, put him on my program, positive. Say good things about the boy. Say good things about the matzah. Laugh at it. Don't worry about it. He did it for 2 months. He calls me back after 2 months. His boy is a different kid completely. And his wife remarked that he looks younger than he ever did before. So you see what happens when you work on bטחון? You get younger. How's that one? It's healthy for your body. Positive thoughts. Your body likes positive thoughts. Yeah, Rabbi Yisrael. Your body likes positive thoughts. Think positive. Look, your thoughts are your own. Nobody can enter your thoughts and tell you what to think about, what not. You can think whatever you want. Think positive. You get a mitzvah. And chazer. Nobody said chazer it again and again. I had kama pamim situations where I had bטחון and nothing happened. I asked my Rebbe, what should I do? Have more bטחון. Novhardikas don't take no for an answer. There's a light at the end of a tunnel. Chazer that bטחון. Do it again. No, keep doing it. No. They're not in the spall. Hours, so why not? It must work. bטחון, ba yavai ya yeshuot. Same thing with tefillah. You keep davening for something again and again, sooner or later, it's going to come true. It has to. Keep going. And you know what schar you get when it looks impossible and you keep going? But I do tell loads of people to say, Ne'eman alai hashofet. You want me to stop? We had enough? Yeah, 1 second. I got 5 more minutes to make the full hour. Okay? We'll make my full hour. Maybe I'll tell you a story. Listen to this one. It just happened. Last week, Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, I think. I get a phone call. This guy's wife was miscarrying. And the 3rd month, and she was going through Sheva Maduri Gehenim. And he wanted me to calm him down because she wasn't min minyan. She was just out of it. I says, you want to put me on speaker so your wife could hear? He says, it's a bracha l'atola. She done the little, you want to hear her? And I hear a lady screaming, B'koil Ram, Hashem Yerachem. It was our Shmonas Nebuch, screaming. So I says, Afal B'kein. So I start telling her, you're going to be fine. I'm very tough. You're fine. Go, nish. No. It's going to go away, I guarantee you. You're going to be Elta Baba with with healthy children and it's going to go away. Just forget it. The pain is disappearing right now. As soon as I started talking, whatever it was, the blockage disappeared. On the spot, as soon as I started talking, but the pain was still plenty. So I kept talking, and I kept hocking and cough, and I said something. You're going to have forgot the lashon I kept using. I said every bracha, I kept repeating the same bracha. Every time I repeat it, it's getting 100 times better. And I screamed, and somehow it hit home. And after a while, he hung up. And then he called me back. It's still going. No. So I continue all my stuff. It's getting better. No. And I screamed. And then finally, I out of brachas. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm thinking, okay, let's have some fun. So I started cracking some jokes. I cracked my jokes. You know my jokes? I think the Ilms had a lot of chazor of my jokes. I started cracking my jokes. One after another. They were rolling. When I got off the phone, I overheard the man and the lady laughing like kids. 1/2 hour earlier, this woman was, I thought it was Gehenna. It wasn't Shaykh. A half hour later, power. By the way, jokes are very powerful. Crack a joke. Laugh at the world. Don't be the spoil. You have to believe in the Fum Tzaira Agra. If something's hard for you, you keep going, you get 100 times Moschar. You have to believe that you're serving the Eibishter, not people. All the Eibishter wants is you try. That's enough. People make you crazy. You always have to succeed. And succeed, yes, succeed, not succeed. You go back to Eibishter, I try my best. Believe in Fum Tzara Agra. You also have to believe in, some people believe in it's a great chazal. I know that. I know a lot of people. Every chazal is Kedesh Kedoshim. But some chazal is not Kedai to ligin there too much. Maybe for some people it's good, for some people it's a churban. Chazal, Ein Adam Aymer al Divrei Torah Elam Kein Nishlam Tchila. You're going to make a mistake. So what? Everybody makes mistakes. I'm also making mistakes. Nothing wrong with making mistakes. You got to get the right chazals. And this thing of the whole Megillah, that's my favorite pasuk that they asked, Mordechai asked the kids. You know, Al Tira Mipachat Pisayim, there's a famous story of the Novandig, his name was Sholem Keba. He was singing that. That's one of the psukim of the 3 kids. That Mordechai asked, you want to have a 7-minute Shemaim, everything's okay. And he was there in the concentration camp by the Russians over there in Siberia. I forgot what the setting was. And he was screaming B'kol Ram in front of all the Goyim. Al Tira Mipachat Pisayim Simchas Torah Nigid. I'm not scared of nobody. And the guy who tells over the story, he almost had a heart attack. He said, you know what's going to happen to you? You're doing that? And he laughed at the whole Olam until finally the guy in charge comes over to him, get into the line, and he totally ignored him. I'm singing a Simchas Torah Nigid here. I'm back in the Vardig, I'm not Gairis you. And that's Utsuetz of a Sufa. He sang that Nigid, B'kol Ram, and the guy who tells the story was like he was fainting. And the guy who tried to put him in his place, after a while, just left him alone and walked away. Power of Bטחון. And he tells this person, Shalom Kebi, he had no children, should be a schus, should be a melos yesha for all of us. And I do want to mention that the covered, there's man, the Eibush should help, we should bring back the Varim, Chol Teik for Vahadra, Makara, Mamish! Amen. And we'll have Yeshua's Gemorais! And Mashiach Sultana will come and give everybody here a buha. This Purim is going to be the best Purim you ever had. And you'll make plenty of money. Anybody want to give me tzedakah?